You've heard about Neville Goddard's revision, and you may have already tried imagining memories differently, and maybe you revised a memory and nothing seemed to happen, or maybe you found that your mind argues with you because that's not what really happened. So today we're not going to talk about theory at all. We're going to take you through the step-by-step process technique for exactly how to revise a memory, even if you have doubts or resistance right now. So you can follow along with these steps. And then at the end, we'll give you one powerful key that will really level up your results.
Go ahead right now and pick a memory that you would like to change right now. For example, could be something like something that somebody said to you, or could be an email that you got that triggered something, or you received an unexpected bill. So something that happened recently, go ahead, pick that memory, and now give it a name. Just give it a name just to identify it for yourself. So as we launch into this work, we're not gonna be focusing on the details. Just give it a name. For example, could be a comment that Fred made to me, or the email from Tracy, or the medical bill, something like that. So
Now, before we start with the first step to revise that memory, let's do a little experiment. Take a deep breath, close your eyes, and think of your front door. And whatever color your front door is, I want you to imagine it as white. Now make it blue in your mind. Now, if you can't just imagine it as blue, imagine taking out a pot of blue paint and painting it blue. Very good. Now imagine it as yellow. Now make it purple, put some yellow flowers on it. You can open your eyes. Now, you could probably imagine your front door as a different color because presumably you don't have any emotional attachment to your front door. So revising a memory, as Neville taught, it's just imagining it differently, but that's not always possible, which is why we're doing this video for you. And it's because of two main challenges. Number one, the mind arguing that that's not what really happened. And number two, negative emotions that make it feel difficult, if not impossible, to imagine what happened differently. So the technique we're going to take you through will answer that second one. It'll reduce the negative emotions of the memory so that you can just imagine it differently easily. But let's answer that first challenge first. Here's what to do when your mind says, but that's not what really happened. Answer it. Answer it with, yes, that's true. That's not what really happened. So rather than resisting it, answer, yes, that's true. That's not what really happened. And the unconscious part of my brain doesn't know that. We're changing this memory for the unconscious part of the brain, not for the conscious mind. And so the difference then between the conscious mind and the unconscious part of the brain is that the unconscious part of the brain can't use logic or reason the way the conscious mind does. It can't judge something as unrealistic. And it can't tell the difference between reality and imagination, which is why changing memories works, why revising memories works. So even though you consciously know that that's not what originally happened, the unconscious part of your brain will believe it for those reasons. So thoughts and memories are just connections between neurons in the neocortex of the brain, and they trigger matching chemicals. So that's all you're doing is you're just rearranging the patterns in which the neurons in your brain are connecting. So that's when you have those resistance thoughts, answer with that. It doesn't matter that that's not what originally happened. I'm just changing the neurons. So let's start now with the technique. So step one is activating the memory and bringing down the negative emotions. So you have a memory in mind. So you've got a name for it, as Steve suggested. And we're going to first take you through what we call the beginner's exercise to bring down those emotions so that the memory can just be reimagined without any resistance. So for this exercise, you'll need a subject. So the subject can be anything or anyone that you love, but without any negative connotations. So it could be a person, it could be a pet, it could be an activity you love, it could be music you love, or a place like a beach or a forest or whatever. So anything that has good feelings connected to it, but no missing or longing or wishing or anything like that. Also, just to let you know, I will put a link in the description of this video to a download of this, the MP3 of this little exercise. So you can download it to your device and then listen to it whenever you need to change other memories. So here we go. Take a deep breath, close your eyes. And I want you to start by thinking of your favorite color. And if you don't have a favorite, that's okay, just pick one you like. And imagine being surrounded by that beautiful color and feel the feeling of that color. Very good. Now think of the person, animal, place, or activity you love, and imagine holding them in your arms in a hug. And notice the feeling, the physical feeling in your chest or solar plexus of that love, and imagine that feeling as a ball of light or energy. Good job. Now imagine that ball of light or energy spreading down to your toes, up to the top of your head, and out to your fingertips. So you're now full of that light, that energy, that love. Very good. Now press pause on that. Imagine pressing pause on that. You can open your eyes. And now I want you to think about the memory you want to change. You don't need to get into it. You don't need to play it. Don't go into any details. Just briefly notice that when you think of that moment in time, are there any negative emotions? And if there are, just notice on a scale of 0 to 10, with 0 being I can't feel anything at all, 10 it's very strong, just notice for you, for your own personal reference, about how strong is that. Make a note of it, and then press pause on that, and let's go back to your color and hugging your subject, that person, animal, place, or activity you love. And if it's a person or an animal, have they ever done anything funny? You can add some music in your head and press pause on that. And let's go back to that negative memory now and notice, are the negative emotions still the same? Have they changed? Is it more? Is it less? Just notice. Don't try to make the negative emotion stronger. Just notice what's there. And now press pause on that and go back to your color and hugging your subject. Now, you do this back and forth until when you think of a negative memory, there are no negative emotions at all. Then your brain will allow you to change it. So what we're doing here, just very briefly on the neuroscience level, is because thoughts are connections between neurons, and those connections trigger matching chemicals that cause our feelings. So when we think of a negative memory and we feel the negative emotions, the resistance, the fear, the worry, the frustration, the hurt, whatever's there, that's neurons connecting as we think of the negative memory, and it's triggering the stress chemicals that cause negative emotions. Then when we press pause on that, and we start firing the neural connections, so we're connecting neurons as we think of the color and our hugging our subject or favorite song or place, whatever that is, those connections between neurons trigger feel-good chemicals like endorphin, serotonin, and oxytocin, and that of course makes us feel better. So doing that back and forth will bring down the level of stress chemicals in your system that cause negative emotions. Once you've done that, then your brain will feel safe to change that memory, to change. Now, step 2, and you pause this video to go back and forth until you've got no emotions, of course, no negative emotions. Step 2 is then, of course, changing the memory. So that's revising it, reimagining it the way Neville taught. Make sure that it is the opposite, positive, and empowering. So a reminder, there are no limits to the budget or special effects inside your brain. So you can make it amazing. The better you make it, the better the results. Make sure that you've got the emotions that go with it. So where with the negative memory, we don't want to go into all the details because that amps up the stress chemicals, and there's no need to practice the old memory, the negative memory. We do want to go into details in the positive memory to amp up the feelings, the good feelings. So you can put as much detail into that as you like, but you don't have to put a lot of detail in. Once you've got the memory, and it doesn't need to be like a long, involved scene, it can be just a moment in time. Then step 3 is repetition. So in neuroscience, Hebb's rule is cells that fire together wire together, and that's how we learn things by repetition, like learning a new phone number. So the more you practice, as you practice that memory, that moment in time with the good emotions, you're strengthening those neural connections, and that's how the memory starts to feel natural, the way Neville described, because those neural networks are established as if that's what originally happened.
Doing this work with clients, I know that that process, kind of stepping back to step one, where we are trying to bring the emotional feel of that memory down just a little bit. I just wanted to interject that it doesn't need to take long. The way that you kind of explained it is that, that this process could go on and pause the video. I've worked with clients where we've done this just one time, and the emotion in that memory had just gone to zero or neutral. And if that's the case, proceed with changing the information. It's just like the door. It's just like changing the color on the door. If it feels neutral, your unconscious brain will allow that to happen. So just know that it can happen very quickly. And I would also say that that is also true for recreating this new scene for a memory. And that sometimes, what our imaginations come up with are so incredible and so vivid. It's like, I can't not see that again. It's like, yep, I've got that memory. It feels really, really exciting, whatever in your mind. And I just got that, it's so all I'm saying is that this doesn't need to be a long drawn out process. It can happen very quickly. If you'd really like to level up your results, here's a piece that most people are missing, and it makes all the difference.
Yes, so this is the really exciting piece. This will change your core identity and patterns and habits and core beliefs. And that is using revision to change not just recent memories, but to change implicit childhood memories that are the building blocks of our identity and core beliefs and patterns. Changing those memories are what literally changes who you are and how the world works for you. So for more on that, click the links in the description to watch our other videos where we go into that in depth, exactly how to do it, why to do it, and all of that. And also to see real life revision sessions for various issues and results with different people. I'll put a link to the playlist in the description of this video as well. And then we'll also be doing more of these kinds of step-by-step videos on revising for specific memories. So like revising a memory of betrayal, or revising a memory of a job interview or an argument with someone. So let us know your requests for what specific memories you'd like us to do videos on, and we'll do those.